Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are in A Course in Miracles, Workbook for Students, Part 1 of the workbook. We are on Lesson 160. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Fear is a stranger to the ways of love. Identify with fear and you will be a stranger to yourself. And thus you are unknown to you. What is yourself remains an alien to the part of you which thinks that it is real, but different from yourself. Who could be sane in such a circumstance? Who but a madman could believe he is what he is not and judge against himself? There is a stranger in our midst who comes from an idea so foreign to the truth he speaks a different language, looks upon a world truth does not know, and understands what truth regards as senseless. Stranger yet, he does not recognize to whom he comes, and yet maintains his home belongs to him, while he is alien now, who is at home. Footnote 300. Pronoun clarification. Stranger yet he, the stranger, does not recognize to whom he, the stranger, comes, yet maintains his, the occupant's home, belongs to him, the stranger, while he, the occupant, is alien now to who is at home. Fear is the stranger and you are the occupant, and the home referred to here is most likely your mind, but as the lesson later makes clear, it is also your true home, heaven. Perhaps these two conceptions of what your home is are reconciled by the idea that your mind, perceived correctly, is one with your true home, heaven. And yet how easy it would be to say, "This is my home. Here I belong and will not leave because a madman says I must." What reason is there for not saying this? What could the reason be except that you had asked this stranger in to take your place and let you be a stranger to yourself? No one would let himself be dispossessed so needlessly unless he thought there was another home more suited to his tastes. Who is the stranger? Is it fear or you that is unsuited to the home which God provided for his Son? Is fear his own, created in his likeness? 301, Genesis 1:26, and God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Where am I? Why do I do this all the time? Okay, there it is. Is it fear that love completes and is completed by? There is no home can shelter love and fear. They cannot coexist. If you are real, then fear must be illusion. And if fear is real, then you do not exist at all. How simply, then, the question is resolved. Who fears has but denied himself and said, "I am the stranger here, and so I leave my home to one more like me than myself, and give him all I thought belonged to me." Now is he exiled of necessity, not knowing who he is, uncertain of all things but this, that he is not himself, and that his home has been denied to him. What does he search for now? What can he find? A stranger to himself can find no home wherever he may look, for he has made return impossible. His way is lost, except a miracle will search him out now and show him that he is no stranger now. Let me repeat that. He is lost, except a miracle will search him out and show him that he is no stranger now. The miracle will come, for in his home his self remains. It asked no stranger in, and took no alien thought to be itself. And it will call its own unto itself in recognition of what is its own. Who is the stranger? Is he not the one yourself calls not? You are unable now to recognize the stranger in your midst, for you have given him your rightful place. Yet is your self as certain of its own as God is of his Son? He cannot be confused about creation. He is sure of what belongs to him. No stranger can be interposed between his knowledge and his Son's reality. He does not know of strangers. He is certain of his Son. His certainty suffices. Footnote 302. 2 Corinthians 12:9. And he said to me, My grace suffices thee, for my power is perfected in weakness. Whom he knows to be his Son belongs where he has set his Son forever. He has answered you who ask, Who is the stranger? Hear his voice assure you quietly and sure that you are not a stranger to your Father, nor is your Creator stranger made to you. Whom God has joined remains forever one. Footnote 303. Matthew 19:6. What therefore God has joined together, let not man put asunder. As is true in the course's other references to this verse, see for instance chapter 17, section 3. The above reference implies that what God has joined together, in this case himself and you, cannot be separated. So I'll repeat that sentence. Whom God has joined remains forever one, at home in him, no stranger to himself. Today we offer thanks that Christ has come to search the world for what belongs to him. His vision sees no strangers, but beholds his own and joyously unites with them. They see him as a stranger, for they do not recognize themselves. Yet, as they give him welcome, they remember, and he leads them gently home again to where they belong. Not one does he forget, not one he fails to give you to remember, that your home may be complete and perfect as it was established. He has not forgotten you, but you will not remember him until you look on all as he does. Who denies his brother is denying him, and thus refusing to accept the gift of sight by which his self is clearly recognized, his home remembered, and salvation come. Now I will read Robert Perry and Alan Watson's commentary. Lesson 160, June 9th. I am at home, fear is the stranger here. So the practice instructions, at least 5 minutes, ideally 30 or more. I do have a separate meditation that I made for all of these lessons through to 170. That's a 15-minute meditation. It's more of a guided meditation, which repeats all of the lessons. If you're interested in that, just search for it on the YouTube channel. And this is Robert's suggestion. Begin by realizing that the experience of fear and the experience of home are mutually exclusive. When you feel truly at home, you feel a sense of shelter and safety, a sense of joining and belonging, a sense of comfort and peace. When you feel afraid, you feel the absence of all these things. In essence, you feel homeless. Now, spend some time trying to get in touch with each state. First, imagine feeling completely at home inside yourself, regardless of what goes on outside you. Imagine knowing who you are, feeling at home with yourself. Imagine feeling at home with God, enfolded in His love. Imagine fear being a thought loitering on the periphery of your mind, trying to invade the peace of this inner home, knocking on the door, tapping at the window, but unable to get in. Then switch to getting in touch with the state of fear, the state that we all live in. Notice how this state, fear, anxiety, and worry, are your most natural reactions to the happenings of the world. So natural as to be automatic reflexes. This leaves you feeling that you have no safe harbor, no true shelter. You feel separate from God and alienated from yourself. It is as if you are loitering on the outside, while fear sits unchallenged on the throne of your mind. Now ask yourself with real sincerity, who is the stranger? Is it fear or is it you? Who sits at home in your mind and who is on the outside wandering homeless? Is it fear or is it you? Which of the states you just reviewed is the truth and which is the lie? Now answer with the words that God has given you. I am at home. Fear is the stranger here. Realize that this answer is true because it comes from God. Repeat it over and over. Try to feel the truth in it. And you will, and you will, and you will. Finally, let this idea draw you down into your mind to the place where you are at home and where fear has no place. Feel the attraction of home drawing you deep within. Sink down to where you are at one with yourself, at home in your Creator. To renew your focus, from time to time, repeat, I am at home. And whenever a thought wanders into this holy home, say, I am at home. This thought is the stranger here. Hourly remembrance, 1 or 2 minutes as the hour strikes. Reduce if circumstances do not permit. Repeat the idea, letting it draw you to a place in your mind where you feel truly at home. Thank your Father for the letters from home He sent you in the previous hour in the form of loving interactions and shifts in perception, and ask Him what to do in the coming hour. Response to temptation. When you are tempted to be afraid or see a brother as a stranger, say, I am at home. This thought of fear is the stranger here. While you do, imagine yourself at home within your mind while the thought of fear loiters outside, powerless to get in. When you are tempted to see your brother as a stranger, remember that he is part of yourself. You might say silently to this brother, you are at home with me. There are no strangers here. Fear in this lesson is virtually synonymous with ego. The picture being given is that we have invited fear, personified as a stranger, into our house, and the stranger has taken over and declared that he is us. He has taken over our identity almost completely. And the insane part of it all is that we have gone along with the stranger. We have accepted that this stranger is really us, and we have given our home over to him completely. We have been dispossessed. Who is the stranger, you or the ego? It is so easy when thoughts of fear occupy our minds to believe that the fear is us, the anger is us, the loneliness is us, the sense of helplessness is us. We have habituated ourselves to identifying with our thoughts and feelings of fear. We believe they are us. The thrust of this lesson is that all of these manifestations of fear are an interloper, not a genuine part of us at all. You are not the ego. The ego is not you. Stephen Levine, I love Stephen Levine, in several of his books, talks about relating to our fear rather than relating from it. The distinction he is making is between identifying with the fear, relating from it, or distinguishing ourselves from it, relating to it. When I relate from my fear, I am in its grips. The fear runs me. The fear is me. When I relate to my fear, however, I can look on it with dispassionate mercy. I can react to it with mercy and heal instead of go into panic. It is the difference between saying I am afraid and I am having thoughts of fear, or I am experiencing fear. My thoughts are not me. I am the thinker who is thinking the thoughts, but I am not the thoughts. And the same goes with anger or depression. But I say anger because I feel like I have a lot of rage in me that just comes up over stupid things, and I can watch this and say, I'm experiencing anger. This anger is not who I am. When we can separate ourselves from the fear, and all anger, depression, it's all fear. Anyway, so, I don't know, that just came up for me. So we can separate ourselves from the fear we feel. When we can, we already have identified with our true self. Our self is certain of itself, and it operates to heal our minds, to call us home. As we give this self welcome in our minds, we remember who we are. Yet this new vision of ourselves of necessity includes everyone. It is as though God were offering us a pair of glasses and saying, if you put these on, you will see your true self. But when we discover that in putting them on, we see not only ourselves in a new light, but everyone. We rebel. We want to see ourselves as innocent, but we are unwilling to see everyone that way. If we refuse to see those around us as innocent, we will put down the glasses, refuse the vision of Christ, and we will not be able to recognize ourselves. You will not remember Him, God, until you look on all as He does. When thoughts of fear enter my mind today, let me recognize that they are the stranger, the interloper, and that I am the one who is at home, not fear. Fear does not belong. I do not need to accept it in my mind. But let me not fight against it. Let me look on my own thoughts of fear with compassion, love, and understanding, recognizing them as merely a mistake and not a sin. There is no guilt in feeling fear, or there need not be. I can step back from these thoughts, step back into myself, capital S, and see them as the illusions that they are. They are separators. They just want to separate me from God. I can look upon myself with love, and from this same place be of merciful awareness, I see all my brothers in the same light, caught in fear, mistaking the fear for themselves, and needing not judgment and attack, but forgiveness, kindness, and mercy. And that's all he wrote. That's Alan Watson. You know, my family comes up for me a lot. I'm pretty much isolated from my family, except for my kids and grandkids. But all my siblings, and I love them very much, and I miss them, and we just kind of, I don't know, I don't know what they think about me, and it's none of my business. And I love them, and I had a lot of anger toward them for, not all of them, but, you know, different reasons throughout my life. And they're all older than me, 6, 7, and 8 years older than me. And my stepbrother, who's my age, we're not very close at all, but we used to be. But anyway, I don't know them. I mean, I know them, and I'm so grateful that today I don't harbor any anger. Sometimes my feelings, I see my feelings get hurt, but because I have this story in my mind and I'm not part of their lives. And I wasn't invited to a get together they had a couple years ago, and that just really, I guess it was last year, really last August, and that just hurt so much. And so I reacted out of that poorly. But today, I blocked them all, and I had to cut off from all of them for a while. And I've been able to forgive, and because I know that's not who they are, and that's not who I am. And but sometimes I'll see something on Facebook that somebody posted, and again, I feel on the outside, and that's okay. It is what it is. We were raised differently, and I think I had this whole story around the relationships that's not true. Anyway, it makes me a little sad, but I'm grateful I don't harbor the anger and the fear that I used to. Not to say I don't have any. I see it pop up from time to time, but I can kind of send love and see light instead of defensiveness and vulnerability and hostility. So, but then again, I see this rage come up in me over stupid little things sometimes, at home especially. And I can, I don't know, to me it's all about the separation. And even not trying to, I can't reach out to them and try to be a part of their lives because I don't think that they are there. And I think in my mind, everybody thinks I'm weird. So, and that's just my story, and that's my shield of separation. And so I just have to give it to God and just keep giving it to God and try to be as loving as I'm capable of, and suiting up and showing up in different ways that I'm able to, even from a distance, because none of us live close. I moved to Florida, and they're in North Carolina and New York. So anyway, I don't know why this just came up for me. Because that rage, it bothers me. I don't know. And I know it bothers me that I see that still after all these years. And I know it's the perfectly imperfect me in this form, in this world, and it's not the truth of who I am, and that it's due to the separation. So I'm just grateful. Thank you. I guess I needed to spew. I love you. Thank you.